Buenos dias, Gunners Profiles. Guess what? Gonna make the profiles boom, 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 boom. What they is, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is today on Gunners Profiles. We're back. That's what it is. Back with some real life, real talk by a real one. And what it isn't is added preservatives and no bullshit. That shit stinks. No bullshit, right? We don't get down like that. Trip out, right? And the menudo está in a direct fashion, as you can tell by that thumbnail right there. Oakland. Oakland, right? We're talking about the city of Oakland. Ladies and gentlemen, I love the city of Oakland. I'll be wiggling in the city of the O, right? Town business. The reason I like Oakland is the diversity there, right? I know people automatically assume, well, the brothers got it sold, and they do. There's a lot of brothers there. There's a lot of Mexicanos and Chicanos and Salvadorianos and whatever else you want to call them, however you say it. There's a lot of Latinos there in the city of Oakland as well, man. And guess what? It doesn't matter what you are. It matters how you carry yourself. And you know what I mean? Just breathe that Oakland experience, man. It's a little bit different. Now, I've always had a lot of love for the city of Oakland just based on, you know what I mean? One of my parents was born in Oakland. You know what I mean? The wiggle was real. So we've always had that Oakland influence around the house, you know. We've always grew up to that tower of power. You know, we always grew up to that soul. We have always had soul in our family. That's why my wiggleization is real when it comes to music, because Oakland is a town of soul. You have to have a lot of soul there, right? Not only are they the innovators of a lot of things, but they're also the proprietors of real talk, of slanguage, of the Bay Area flavor, right? Now, growing up in the Central Valley, my family, we always wiggled out to the Bay, man, because we had half our family was divided. It was a trifecta, to tell you the truth. We had family down south, we had family in the valley, and family in the Bay. And that's how we operated, right? So my family, we'd always get up and go to the Bay Area, you know, Great America when I was a kid, San Francisco to go walk the pier, Oakland, you know what I mean, to go try to avoid getting shot. It was just a lot of different things that you had going on in my family, and Oakland was a city that I always had a lot of love for. Now, as I grew up and I got incarcerated, man, I would see a lot of individuals from the O. Okay, it seemed like Oakland was always one of the deepest carros in jail, in prison. Not necessarily for the Norte, more so for the Kumis, for the brothers. But at the same time, it didn't matter to me, man. I identified because I knew a lot of streets in Oakland, a lot of hoods, a lot of the turf, a lot of the blocks, you know, just from growing up, going to Oakland all the time, having familia out there in Richmond, Oakland, Berkeley, the whole surrounding areas, Hayward, that I would go out there and I would show love. And so there was always that kinship, always that relationship there, always that love. So I remember growing up and doing time in YA and running into a lot of these cats from Oakland. We chop it up all the time, and they were like, damn, blood. They say blood a lot, right? They'd have a lot of love for me. And that's just what was it. And that was because I could identify with them and I knew what time it was, right? But Oakland has an extensive history. A lot of people don't really understand the history. There's people like Oakland Latinos United who, they're like the fucking knows his historia when it comes to Oakland. I could have brought him on here, man, to speak his piece. And I'm sure he's going to watch this like this. Yeah, I'll hold. You know what I mean? With the tight ass Oakland shirt on. And when they say tight, I mean tight, right? That Vato's going to be watching it, man. Shout out to my boy, Oakland Latinos United. Someone who's a historian on the city of Oakland. But this ain't one of those videos, right? I'm not going to give you the full unadulterated history of Oakland. I'm going to give it to you from my eyes and from what I've seen, you know, and some of the experiences I've had. Now, the way I've seen Oakland is it's a big old melting pot of a lot of different people, right? But the Africana community, the urban-based community have held it down in the city of Oakland. They've made it their own. And ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of people that are scared of the unknown are scared. When it comes to Oakland, they're like, nah, hell no. Home. I fucks with Hayward. And I could do Richmond. Sometimes. But when it comes to the O, they be tripping out there. Now, they don't be tripping out there, homes. You be tripping out there because of the way they get down out there, right? I've never had too many problems. Now, I said too many because I've had a few. Everyone that goes to Oakland has a few, right? But I've never had too many problems. You know, and that's just because I've had family there and I've had people there, friends that I could call my own that I know have given me the rundown on how the city of Oakland works, right? Now, the way that Oakland works is turf politics, okay? It's all about where you grew up, how you grew up, the spot that you grew up in. There wasn't necessarily too much gang banging like traditional Los Angeles gang banging like barrio on barrio. I guess you could say there was. It was more turf on turf. There are norteños. Don't get it twisted, homes. There are norteños that represent the city of Oakland, as well as Border Brothers, BBs, and Southsiders, right? That's just what it is, man. Mexicans are always going to have their influence. And they're always going to establish wherever they go. But for the most part, man, Oakland is considered a brother stronghold. Okay, now Kumis is a group that was established in the late 80s, bro. And when it was established, okay, these vatos weren't playing. You know, they're an offshoot of the Black Guerrilla family. So when they started, they were more young, more boisterous, more out there, more about just that Bay Area flavor. Kumi meaning 415 being the Bay, right? And the 415 was a very well-known, of course, area code throughout Frisco, Oakland, all that. Of course, things changed. Oakland changed to the 510. You know, that's why still a lot of people say the 41510, like 40, the 41510, right? Straight up. And that's just because they always got that history and that love. Now, a lot of people know of Oakland if you're in the rap scene because of Too Short, you know what I mean, 415, Dangerous Dan, all these different, Richie Rich, these different rappers that come from Oakland, man, that have established and put it on the map, the Loonies, things of that nature. But at the same time, you need to understand that it isn't just a town based on hip hop or rap. They got a lot of culture there, right? There's a lot of the African culture there. There's a lot of the urban base. You know, we get a lot of the way that we dress in the Central Valley, in the Bay Area, from the city of Oakland. It's always been like that. They've always been ahead of the curve. Frisco as well. That's just how the yay works. Yay area. You know, you go out there, you get some tight ass gear, homes. You go back to the Valle, you got shit. Where you get that at? That motherfucking shirt's bad, homes. Oak Town, right? Oakland's always had that gangsterism flow to it. That PI, that smooth, that playerism tip. That's just how it has always been to me. You know, I remember one of the first times that I heard or I seen a shooting happen. It happened in the city of Oakland, man. One of my primos called me. I just got out of YA, right? I was like 18 years old and got my first car. Now, when I say my first car, I mean my very first car. It was an 86 Firebird. That motherfucker was beat up from the motherfucking feet up, right? That thing barely ran. But I thought I was macking and mobbing. I thought I was so I'll race anybody for pink slips, right? My shit would go in reverse before I went forward, right? But I thought I was bad. Anyways, my primo called me and he was like, hey man, I got my check out here in Soho. I need to go pick it up and I want to go cash it in Oakland because there's a certain bank I got to go to. I said, well, hold up. I don't understand how that shit works, but fuck it. I got you. If for no other reason than I wanted to show off my fucking new carro, all primered and beat up, dented all over the place, right? And also, fuck it, let's go out to Oakland. He'll take me to Chinatown to go eat the bomb food, right? I always considered Chinatown and Oakland to have the real righteous fucking bomb-ass Asian food, right? So I said, let's go. So I picked him up in Soho. He had his little $432 check. Measly as back then, we was balling. I was already trying to figure out ways driving to Oakland how I could ask to borrow a hundo, right? Anyway, so we're cruising and we get into the 90s. Now, the 90s is an area in Oakland that at that time was pretty much held down by the brothers and the BBs, the Border Brothers, right? They were in that area. And I wasn't really tripping. You know, I wasn't really up to par on who held the fucking turf of certain turf. Yeah, I didn't give a fuck. I just wanted to hurry up and cash this check, borrow this 100, have him take me out to Chinatown. My whole plan was by the time we got back to the Valle, by the time I got back to the Valle, he was going to be broke and I was going to be full. And that was my plan, right? So anyways, we're cruising. We need gas. So we pull up to this Chevron. I think it was a Chevron, right? And I seen a van pull up, right? And a whole bunch of youngsters get out the van. And the youngsters back then compared to the youngsters now, because I was a youngster, were different, right? You know, it was Band Davis's, black hoodies, you know, motherfucking murder ones, isotoners. Motherfuckers was trying to kill you. You know what I mean? They had the whole OJ kit on, right? So these guys all jump out, and I could just tell there was going to be tension. Not for us, because we're in such a beat-up-ass car. No one's looking our direction. There's nothing flashy about us to attract attention, which I was happy that day. But I seen a whole bunch of brothers were parked in a sick-ass cuddy sitting on Go ones. These vatos were on 20s before 20s were 20s, right? They kept them clean, though. They were already sitting right there. There was about 4 or 5 brothers, man, sitting there looking smooth. And this van pulls up, right? Now, I don't know the situation. I don't know if these two groups were having beef prior to this or something was said, but all I know is, orale, good morning, Vietnam, right? These motherfuckers got down, homes. They got with it. Hung, 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 brrr. I'm in that motherfucker trying to pump gas like this. I'm trying to get every drop because, you know, at that time, gas was like $2.29. I was just trying to get mine, right? Hey, motherfuckers were going at it. The wind was blowing. There was chicks running everywhere. It was like an RB stampede going that way. Whole bunch of pimps in fur coats running that way. Man, watch that shit. You know what I mean? The pimping is real, right? They was mobbing that way. Shootings going on that way. And come to find out, it was the BBs and a couple Africano brothers, man, that just, you know, let each other have it. That's normal in Oakland. Okay? The normality of that is like me waking up in the morning saying, menudo. It just happens. Okay? It's natural. That was my first experience on some Oakland turf shit. Right? And I said, okay. Right? And then it seemed like every time after that, when I went into the city of Oakland, I was seeing something dramatic, right? Something vicious. And I understood why Oakland got the bad name or the bad reputation. But me growing up and always going into I could see where Oakland, it's a reputation that I wouldn't say is undeserving, but people are just putting too much on it, man. There's beautiful things that happen in the city of Oakland. There's real life shit, some real macking going on there, right? Some real playerism. For people that are into not necessarily just gang banging all the time, but they're in there to get some real game and to learn some real shit from Northern California street shit, you can get all that and plenty more in the city of Oakland, right? Now, I would tell you this. There was this one guy when I was in CYA. He was from the O, right? His name was Mo. He was from Acorns, right? Was it Mo? It was Mo and Whammo. There was two of them. Mo and Whammo, man. For those of you that know, then you know I ain't playing, right? These were two big ass brothers. I remember one of them had gold teeth. He had Acorns in his shit. The other one had Mo on his teeth. These dudes were in YA. They were very well respected, but they were assholes, both of them, right? They knew that no one wanted to see them because of their size, the way that they carry themselves, and everything. Now, I was cool with them. Being an Norteño, I was cool with them. I always would chop it up with them and everything. So there was never no issue, but nobody liked them. It wasn't like if they went off the compa, man, would no one be hurt? There's no one's heart would hurt, right? But at the same time, they seemed pretty cool to me. Now, I remember that some sangres from the city of Sacramento came on the building. And it was weird because that's the way that the black guys would do it. They would bring mass groups of people. Like one day it'd be like a white guy, and the next you know there'd be like 3 or 4 or 5 and 6. Every day they brought white guys that week. Like, goddamn, sprinkle them in then, you know what I mean? And they would do the same thing with the Southsiders, Norteños as well. We came every day. That was our institution. I'm talking about Carl Holton. So we'd be there every day. But then they brought in the Bay Cats, right? And then they bring in Bloods, Crips. They just did everyone like that. So anyways, that this week they started to bring in the Sangres, and I guess they were playing basketball, and one of them bumped heads with Mo or Whammo. I'm not sure which one. Ooh-wee. That was a bad situation, right? These Sangres were deep, man. There was about 10, 15 of them. There was already about 10 of them established on the compa. 5 more had came, and so they're pretty deep, right? 15 Sangres on a compa is pretty deep in Northern California, straight up. And Sangres were always known to handle their business. They weren't no chumps by no means necessary, right? Especially them ones out of Sacramento, man. They just wiggled different, right? Zilla, they was about their shit. This is way before that. This was just Oak Park Bloods and just whatever surrounding Bloods there were, right? But these two cats from Oakland, let me tell you something, man. There was a reason why people didn't like them. I'm going to tell you the reason. The reason was called the knockout artist, right? These vatos proceeded to knock every single motherfucker out that came on that basketball court woofing that high power shit, which was everybody. And it tripped me out. The Placas were trying to pull them off people when they were the ones getting jumped. These motherfuckers was no joke. The whole time they're screaming, this Oakland motherfuckers, Oakland, Oakland. I was like, yup, them cats in Oakland don't play, right? I use that as a reflection for all Oakland because I said, this is how it is. This is how the water is there. This is the flavor that you drink. You know, people automatically see that you're from Oakland. They kind of, okay, all right. You know, they think, okay, this motherfucker grew up in a gangster area. He grew up dangerous, you know, and it is. It's very dangerous in the city of Oakland. If you don't know the right places to go, you don't know the right people, it's very ghetto, okay? Not every area, you know, there's nice homes and everything, but the people consider themselves impoverished. You know, Oakland is a town, as a city, man, that although it is very beautiful up in the hills, it's not given. The taxpayer money is not put in the proper area. And that's because, you know, and The wind's blowing. I'm going to keep it real. And that's because there's a lot of brothers and a lot of Latinos there, man. And of course, you're not giving us shit. We can't get nothing, right? So every motherfucking bump in the road, everything we've had to struggle and strive for, drive around. Because, man, taxpaying money ain't going nowhere towards the city of Oakland. It's going to go all out to Berkeley and all these other little towns, man. And that's just the way the world works. You already know what it is. I ain't even got to say it, right? But growing up, you know, in that era, man, and going to Oakland all the time, I could see where that chip on the shoulder was. I could see where these motherfuckers grew up hardcore. And that was from not being given nothing. Everything you had to fight tooth and nail for, man. You grew up in the projects. You grew up in the ghettos. You grew up in the barrios and the hoods, man. And you ain't had nothing to look forward to, right? These motherfuckers got it up out the mud out the city of O, man. I know people are like, get off Oakland's nuts. Nah, I ain't on Oakland's nuts, homes. I'm just keeping it real. Motherfuckers go nuts in Oakland. That's just it. I've had a lot of experience there, and I got nothing but love for the city of the O. One thing I will say, though, man, is if you're not from there and you're just trying to wiggle through, you will be discovered. That is an area you might want to check into. I can't call it like an alcoholic, and I don't even believe in that shit, but okay, you just might want to, right? Because they don't play. Anyways, with that being said, it's just something I wanted to speak on, man. A couple little experiences that I had with Oakland. The Vatos are down out there. They're about their business. You know, I could sit here all day, all night, and tell you every little turf, who controls this, Jingle Town, you know, the dirty 30s. You know what I mean? We can talk about fucking the tops, the bottoms. We can talk about everything, man, in between. But at the same time, man, that's neither here nor there. Oakland is Oakland, right? Everybody got a little bit of thug in them. Might fight amongst each other, and I'll promise you this. They'll rumble that whole motherfucker down. You get them pissed. And that's just what it is. With that being said, man, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about struggling and striving for your familia. Going out there and getting it for your people. You know what I mean? In a Vallejo style or in Oakland style, Bay Area, however you want to do it, man. I look at LA, I look at Oakland, I'll say, damn, in between those cities right there, and then everything in between from Fresno on back to fucking Merced Modesto, Sacramento, Stockton, San Jose, all that. California's a dangerous place. Don't fuck with us. Anyways, bang, bang, in a menudo style, you know what I mean? Go out there and get it for your familia. If you like this, please hit that like and subscribe. A thumbs up one time. I fucking highly appreciate it. If not, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. Coming together, man. Telling my stories so that way you are entertained. Are you not entertained? That's it. Menudo. I am. Bang, bang. This is the gun.